Hello everyone, this is the CRT Productions, and this is the iPhone XR. Now, this phone just got a big update to iOS 18, as some of you may know watching this video. Now, I did a video about this a little while back for iOS 14 on the iPhone SE. That was back when you didn't have to specify which iPhone SE because it was just one, and it may have been right after they released the second one, I don't know. But I was surprised to see that iPhone got the 14 update. It ended up getting one more after that, so that was pretty interesting. The iPhone 6s is a phone that I have featured in a video a while back comparing all 2015 flagship smartphones, and I mentioned that it was supported through 7 major versions of iOS from 9 all the way up to 15. At the time I made that video, it was still currently supported a couple of years ago. Now, the iPhone XR is here, and I think that it is the new iPhone 6s. The new, greatest of all time, not extremely expensive, still kind of expensive because all iPhones are these days. iPhone. Let's not dwell on that too long, but let's take a look at iOS 18 on the iPhone XR, this 6-year-old device now, and see how it works. Why, here it is. And obviously Apple is not going to release a version of iOS on a device that is not going to run it smoothly. So here it is. It obviously runs perfectly fine. Open up my recently used apps here, scroll through some of that. Let's see, go to utilities, open up tips, see if we can find out something about our iOS version here. Style your apps. Just look through some of the stuff that's new here, but yeah, the operating system operates perfectly fine. Open up the camera, takes a moment, take a video, take a quick 4K video. Let's see, quick little 4K video. Here it is. There's that old monitor there, some old flash drives, sticky notes. Let's get some sticky notes here. Very nice. Yep, looking good. Obviously, the operating system is going to work perfectly fine on here. I've noticed that maybe it's probably just my imagination, but maybe it is slightly slower. Now, this is probably going to be the last version of iOS for the iPhone XR, and I think that's perfectly fine. It has outlived, what Android phone from 2018 is still supported, right? So, they've supported this thing very well, and this operating system will be perfectly usable years into the future, just like iOS 15 is right now. But anyway, we can take a look at some of the new stuff here. You can style your apps. What does that mean? You can choose color tint for your apps. Touch and hold the home screen, edit, and then tap customize. Let's see if we can tint our passwords here, I guess. I don't know. So you can customize the little thumbnails that you get for stuff. You make them dark. That's of course not going to work for every app. You can see there, Zenless Zone 0, which we'll test later on. That one's not going to be affected, but as far as Apple apps are concerned, it does change everything. It actually does change Discord there. So I guess apps that support that, I'm not sure exactly how that works, obviously, but you can see a lot of apps have turned black now. That would be cool if you had a dark background, but not very good for my specific use here. You can do automatic as well. So we're in light mode right now, and it'll go to dark later on, and you can do tinted, so it's specific color that you like, I guess. There is the tinting feature that you can do to your icons or whatever, your app icons on your home screen. You can make it funny colors. I'm not going to do that. Set it to automatic and give it a shot. So in addition to that, they give you some more customization options on Control Center. So, you can change stuff. I don't know. That's not a big deal for me. Change out your lock screen controls. That's pretty cool. So basically on this screen, when you swipe down from the upper right, you have other options like your media controls and some connection options there, like your cellular data, your Wi-Fi, your airplane mode and everything. You have that right there. So there's been a bunch of updates to the Messages app. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but they are on this phone. You can double tap a message now and say, ha ha. I can laugh at this verification code from Mercari that I got September 9th, 2023. So, that's cool. And you can do stuff. You can schedule a message, which I guess is cool. I would probably opt for an email if I needed to do that, but you can do that in messages now. You can hide apps. So if somebody somehow hacks into my iPhone and figures out what my passcode is, not 1, 2, 3, 4, you can require a passcode for this app. I don't want to play in the Zenless Zone Zero. You can require a passcode. And there you go. I think what's probably going to end up being the most underrated thing added to this edition of iOS is the Passwords app. It's a very nice app, which I will input my password to view, and you can actually look at passwords that you have for apps that are on this iPhone. I can actually look at my Wi-Fi passwords here. It's very interesting. Some stuff on here I can remove so I can forget that network that I don't even use anymore. Forget that one. That was I don't even know what that was, but anyway, this is a really useful app, and I actually need to go through it because there's a bunch of stuff on here that I need to update. So you can see my passwords here. I'm not going to show this stuff, but it shows you that you have reused passwords basically in the security section here. I'll just hide a few of the things here, but yeah, you can see my Mercari and my Adobe passwords are reused. I actually changed my Adobe password recently, but never mind that. But this app makes it really easy to manage your passwords, and it's built right into iPhone. It already has a bunch of your stuff loaded in, so you don't have to manually set it up like some other password manager apps that are out there. This one is ready to go, and it's installed automatically when you upgrade to iOS 18. Now, the biggest things that people are concerned with when they upgrade to a new version of iOS is battery life and storage. Now, this update is pretty sizable. I don't remember exactly how big it is as far as the files that you have to download. It's going to be pretty big. I think it's around 4 or 5 gigabytes. If you have 20 megabytes left on your iPhone, which I know some of you out there watching this right now do, it's very naughty. I know none of you watching this want to hear this, especially if you're using the iPhone XR or XS. But if you're using a 64 gigabyte model, you might want to upgrade to a 128 gigabyte model or something like that. Not necessarily go out and buy the iPhone 16, but I would recommend that if you're one of those people riding on the edge with your iPhone storage in the megabytes instead of the gigabytes, might be time. But yeah, as far as the installed size though, that's the biggest thing. Once you have the update installed, is it taking up several more gigabytes? No, it's about the same size as iOS 17.6.1, which is what my phone was on when I upgraded. It was at 10.88 gigabytes, and iOS is now using 10.39. Now that fluctuates quite a bit. Next update that they do to iOS will blow it up some more, and it'll gradually rise again, of course, and it'll probably surpass iOS 17 and certainly 16. But yeah, for right now, it's about the same. It'll depend, of course, on your model and different things that you have installed. So yeah, but storage space is not a huge issue as far as battery life is concerned. Now, the battery life on this thing wasn't that great to begin with, so I'm not going to speak on that too much. I have not noticed a big difference. I know a lot of times when there's a new version of iOS, people will say, my iPhone died suddenly. I was using it in 1 minute, it was at 70%, next minute it was at 5% or something. I don't know, I've never experienced that myself, and I've been using iPhones for a while now, since iOS 13. So first iPhone I had was the iPhone SE, as I mentioned before. Did a video when it got the update to iOS 14, and I tend to upgrade as soon as it's out, just to test it out, because I'm kind of a tech guy, I got to do my thing there. But yeah, I've never really experienced that myself, and I don't experience it in this case. So I think it's good in that regard, at least. Now, my dear Apple friends, we all love this part of the video where we have to say that's been an Android since 1977. There's another case of this today with iOS 18. You can take the apps, tab and hold them, and drag them down once I do it right there. You can leave the app down there by itself at the bottom of the screen. Now, this was not possible prior to iOS 18 for some reason. I always found it very strange that it wasn't. Now, I've got to take my Sony Xperia, my face unlocked there, Sony Xperia Z3 here, and show you on Android 4.4.4 from 2013. You can drag an app, you can tap and hold and drag the app if I do it right again. Drag that app up there, drag it back over here. If I do it again, there we go, drag it over to the next screen. Oh, there we go, I can put it up there. I can put it anywhere I want to because that's how Android works, that's how it has always worked. I can't speak for the very early versions of it. I've never used Android before Android 4, but there you have it. That is another edition of that's been an Android since 2013 at least, possibly 1977. I don't know. That's anyway. Let's go ahead and talk about something that I would have liked to seen in this new iOS update, not Android update, but this iOS update. Something that's always bugged me about the iPhone. It's when you take a picture and you rotate your phone and you do it very clearly for it to see. I know if I demonstrate it on camera, it won't do it, but anytime you want to take a picture with an iPhone, it tends to want to take the picture the wrong way. But something funny about it is that you can take the picture and pinch it and rotate it, but it doesn't save it that way. It seems like you would be able to just take it, pinch it, and rotate it if you wanted to, and it would save it like that. Wouldn't that be a nice feature? I feel like it would. I feel like that would make a lot of sense, but Apple doesn't think that. Now, this is not new. You can do this in older versions of iOS. I'm not sure how far back it goes. Let me test it actually, because we have something here called the iPhone 6s Plus. Let's take a look. Photos app in iOS 15 point something. I can take it and I can rotate it, but it doesn't do anything after that, and it just returns back to its regular orientation. I would really like to see the feature introduced where you can do this, specifically because iPhones tend to be especially bad about taking photos in the wrong orientation. So, instead, what do you have to do? You have to go down here, tap this, tap crop, and then you have to tap this button right here. And if you are in a particularly bad predicament, you have to tap it 3 times, then tap done. And then it's rotated the right way around. Now, some of you might say, it's a bit nitpicky. Well, again, iPhones are particularly bad about this, and if you're a person who snaps a lot of photos, which is something a lot of you iPhone users out there get these things to do specifically, well, you might have some work on your hands then. If you have to rotate 100 pictures that way, it could get a little bit tiresome. And I don't know, it just seems like a really obvious thing to do. Maybe for iOS 20, I don't know, we'll see. Now everyone out there watching me knows me very well. You know we won't mention the fact that Android has had a game mode built in since Android 12, but never mind that. With iOS 18, we do have a game mode here, and we are going to test it out in this game right here. Here we go. This is the first time I've ever played this on mobile. I have played it on a desktop. Let's see, can you see that? You can see that pretty decently. We can talk to this individual. Yeah, we'll say that. Alright, so we're not in a particularly exciting moment of the game, but we can go up here and you can see that the game runs perfectly fine. Now, game mode is supposed to optimize your gaming experience, make everything much much more better because you know, it reduces your background tasks and kind of dedicates more of these systems resources to the game, helps you focus, puts it in do not disturb mode, so you know you're not getting disturbed by other things. What am I supposed to do here? I'm supposed to tap that. I'm supposed to find a spot for it. There you go. I don't know what this is. Alright, we're outside. Yeah, little hitch there, little hitch. Okay. So yeah, a couple hitches here and there, as they call them. Funny, kind of a funny word, but yeah, it works. I mean, you know, it's good enough. I don't know if there's any graphics settings for this or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not really a mobile gamer myself. I use my phone for stuff and my desktop computer for that sort of thing, but I can't imagine that it would lag too much. I mean, if you're like a pro at this, you could probably play it on this phone, but yeah, what's going on here? Okay, bit of alcoholism going on, but that's part of the course in these video games these days, these violent, terrible video games teaching us terrible things. But yeah, you know, it works fine. This game, I think, requires iOS 14, so you know, it'll run on an iPhone 6s. Hey, let me go download 20 gigabytes of stuff again. No, let's not do that. But yeah, it works fine on this phone. And if you're a really hardcore mobile gamer, maybe don't get an iPhone XR. But as we've seen, the new iOS does work fine on this iPhone. We can look through Discord here. The Discord server is still out there. You can join it. The link in the description below. It works. We can get out of that. Go to music. Bam, music. Music doesn't have any terrible information there about me. I can open that up. You know, I can open my Gmail. Where's my Gmail? Gmail often has humorous things. There it is. You can look through all 1,600 of my unread emails here, my invitations. Where's an invitation? Hi dear, this is somebody from Marketing Manager. Okay, yeah, this is the email address that I have associated with my YouTube account. If you go to the About section on my channel, you will find this email address as my business contact email. And this is what you get when you set that on YouTube, and that's why most channels that you look at probably don't have that set. So, the iPhone XR with iOS 18. Not too bad, not too shabby, probably the last version that they will release for it. And here's the iPhone 6s with 15 on it, still very much useful. Thank you for showing my location. Still very much usable today. So, you know, if you're the type of person that wants to buy an iPhone and then never buy a phone again after that, well, that's why people like you buy iPhones, I suppose. And that's also why they charge a lot of money for them. But they are nice devices to own. And if you own one from 6 years ago, you're likely still using it, or at least you can be, you could be still using it. But the iPhone 16 is out. Haven't you got yours? Haven't you pre-ordered yours? No, you're still using your iPhone XR, and you are a smart shopper. I thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.